Okay, today we are speaking about the Nordic Light product by Arctic Light, which contains both DHA and EPA, which are the omega-3 fish oils, as well as the astaxanthin, which is one of the most powerful and effective antioxidants that is found in nature. Now, can you tell us something about DHA and EPA, how it works, and also the overall and health preventative characteristics of each of these supplements?
You brought up a great subject. Omega-3s are an important part of everyone's everyday diet. Omega-3s generally are either gotten from fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines. Those are probably the three most popular forms of omega-3s today. And it's best eaten if they're wild caught. If they're not wild caught, the amount of EPA and DHA would not be sufficient if they were farm raised. That's a whole topic for another subject, which I think we'll review. However, right now we want to talk about the importance of omega-3. In all the literature that I've read, everything I've read over the last several years points to heart disease being the #1 cause of death today. It encompasses all forms of cancer, all forms of diabetes. So you're talking about one disease, heart disease, causing the majority of deaths today in the United States. Omega-3s give you, as you pointed out, two beneficial parts of the omega-3, which is the EPA and DHA, which have been found to be heart healthy in all individuals. And most people do not eat fish twice a week, as recommended by all doctors, whether they be cardiologists, mainstream, complementary, or naturopathic. So it's important to complement yourself with a supplement that contains omega-3 in the form of DHA and EPA.
And please explain the importance and function of DHA and why this particular omega-3 fatty acid is so important for overall health. What we do know about DHA is that it's very effective and important as far as brain health and mental functioning. And this, of course, is so important today with all the problems that are out there, especially with aging and Alzheimer's disease and organic brain syndrome. And also, as we age, we tend to lose brain function along with a lot of cellular ability of our brain. So why is this DHA so important?
In all the years that I've been in retailing, in all the years I've done radio shows, one of the most important lessons that I've learned from Dr. Paris Kidd was that DHA is the primary component of brain health. If your body doesn't take in enough DHA, you will not go through life with a good brain function. Most people, as they get on in age, develop a touch of dementia or Alzheimer's. And the best way to help prevent that from happening is to use a sufficient supply of DHA on a regular basis. And we're getting back to the issue of fish oil versus supplementation. And it's a lot easier taking a supplement, such as this particular product, where people don't have to commit themselves to taking fish twice a week.
We know that the importance of the super nutrient called astaxanthin, which is a carotenoid pigment, is so important for overall function of our whole system. And this particular supplement is believed to be the most powerful antioxidant and free radical scavenger that there really is out there. And the protective substance is provided specifically by many types of sea life. And one of these types of sea life, of course, is the krill. Now, can you explain a bit about exactly how krill oil provides the substance to us?
Astaxanthin is probably, from all the research I've read, 30 times more powerful than any carotenoid. It's a carotenoid that's found in the ocean that are fed to krill, or krill feed off the astaxanthin, and they develop these phospholipids, which we can get into a little bit later. But the astaxanthin, being the most powerful carotenoid that we know of right now, it's important to maintain for the body good health. It also helps improve skin. It does a whole host of beneficial aspects of the body. So here it is in this one particular product. By taking the Nordic Light, EPA, DHA, you're also getting the beneficial effects of the great carotenoid called astaxanthin.
Now we know the advantages of both DHA and EPA by themselves, as well as taking the krill oil, which contains astaxanthin, which we've explained, in smaller amounts. But most important, because of the astaxanthin content, this particular product is quite superior to many products that just have DHA and EPA alone. And although we can take DHA and EPA by themselves, and then of course add krill oil or astaxanthin along with that, why is having a supplement with both DHA and EPA together with the astaxanthin in one supplement superior and more effective than taking them individually?
You don't need a tremendous amount of milligram strength in a product if the product is put together in an efficacious manner where the absorption rates will be higher than if you were taking the supplements separately. People, if you took the EPA by itself along with the DHA, and you took krill by itself, and you took astaxanthin by itself, you may take in more milligram strength of the different components. However, efficaciously, they may not work well in the body for the body to absorb it. Remember, the phospholipids enable the body to absorb it not only into their blood, but into the membranes and all the cells. And I think this is where it does the most beneficial effect. By absorption into the cell membranes, you're getting the best efficacious system that your body could ever want. So by taking a Nordic-like product that has the EPA, DHA, the krill, and the astaxanthin, the body will absorb it in a far greater efficiency than any other products that are taken by itself.
So now we know that the fish oil and krill oil contain both EPA and DHA, and krill does not contain as much of the omega-3 fatty acids as the oils themselves would be alone, but it's very effective when you use the supplement because there is a combination of the three that when they act together, they're very, very powerful. And one of the reasons why this is so important is because in krill oil, it's provided what's known as a phospholipid configuration, which means that the omega-3 fatty acids, along with the astaxanthin, are put in a way in a phospholipid that allows it to be water soluble. Where if you were to take EPA, DHA, and astaxanthin by themselves, which are not water soluble, they would not get into the body water, they would not get into the bloodstream, they would not be dispersed as well as when they are provided together. So this way makes these products, these supplements, much more absorbable by the body and allows for a much better and more efficient entrance both into the body as well into the stomach and the bloodstream. Another very important thing to talk about here is also the fact that the omega-3 fatty acids are very important for brain function. But in order for them to be important for brain function, they have to get into the brain and central nervous system, which means that they actually have to pass something that's known as the blood-brain barrier, which most supplements don't do. And the biggest problem with taking EPA and DHA as fish oils by themselves, which a lot of people don't know, is that when people take them, they're not really getting into the body as well as they think they are because of their poor water solubility and their inability to actually cross the blood-brain barrier. But with the EPA, DHA, and krill oil together, combined in one, and due to the fact that it is a phospholipid combination, it does pass and go through the blood-brain barrier, which allows this supplement to get right into the brain and the central nervous system, which of course is so important. Can you please comment on that?
I think most people now realize the importance of taking fish oil with EPA, DHA, astaxanthin, and krill. You brought up the major point, and that is this particular product by Nordic Light enables the body to absorb it in a more efficient manner. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, as you pointed out, which most supplements of fish oil do not, because they are fat-soluble. This particular product, because of the phospholipids, enables the body to absorb it both as a fat-soluble and as a water-soluble nutrient, so the body can absorb it, which means that the body does not have to take in an excess amount of food to be able to absorb this particular product. So if you're just having a piece of toast in the morning, or if you're having a quick bowl of oatmeal, don't have to worry about taking it. It will not repeat on you. It's most beneficial because, again, it crosses that all-important blood-brain barrier, which makes it into a water-soluble and a fat-soluble nutrients. So that's the benefit, one of the benefits of Nordic Light.
Another aspect of taking any supplement is the size of the pill or the capsule. And as we know, there are many supplements out there that are very large. They are very hard to swallow. We've seen many cases where fish oils come in quite large capsules, and many people can't take these capsules because, number one, they have trouble swallowing something this large, and many times they just don't want to take it because they're afraid of choking. The nice thing about this particular product is that the capsules are very small, and one serving size is actually 2 of these very small capsules, which are very easy to swallow, and there's never a problem. And there's also another factor that because they are this small, they have a larger surface area, which means that when you swallow them and they get into the body, they get into the stomach, there's a greater surface area, so there's better absorbance. So you've got a supplement that's very easy to take and also is very well absorbed because of its physical size, which makes something very important for most people out there that may be afraid to take a larger size pill or capsule.
Most people, again, have trouble swallowing, whether it be a capsule, a tablet, a gel cap. Even some people with powder are opposed to even taking powder because they don't like drinking. So you're back to the small portion size of the Nordic Light. And taking 2 gives you a full dose on a daily basis of what you need in the way of EPA, DHA, Krill, and Astaxanthin. It's a beneficial effect by using these small concentrated gel caps. The body will absorb it greater than by taking the large gel caps of other well-known brands. And over the course of many years in the retail business, I can't tell you how many thousands of people have come to me and said, I just have to return this because I just can't swallow it. It's just not possible. Whereas Nordic Light answered that question by coming up with a small size gel cap that even children could take because they're so small. Another important factor is that if you have a child 7, 8, 9, 10 years old that is in need of some excellent brain function, that you want to improve their staying capacity, whether they're learning in school or whether they're doing homework at home, by taking 1 or 2 of these small gel caps can benefit them greatly. So something that every parent, every grandparent should consider giving their grandchildren.
Another important factor when you're taking any fish oils is that fish oils in general have a fishy smell. And not only do they have a fishy smell many times, but when somebody takes them into the body and they get into the stomach, because fish oils don't dissolve well in water, they literally rest in the top of the water like an oil. And so there can be regurgitation, and there also can be any type of burping or just taste from that fish oil. And many people object to this. Matter of fact, most people I know, and you know, also object to this. And so this is another reason why a lot of folks don't take fish oils, because they just don't like the taste or the smell or the fact that they can regurgitate. But with this particular product, we don't have any of that because of the way the phospholipid configuration is put together. When you take the pill or you take the capsules, they go right into the stomach and they are immediately dissolved in the water in the stomach. And so if there's any burping, which there usually isn't, or any regurgitation, which there also usually isn't, there's never going to be that smell or odor of a fish oil or taste of that fish oil. And that's also important because not only does it show compatibility with the body, but you'll never have to worry about having a fish odor or fish smell about yourself when you take the supplement, which is so important because it dissolves so well. Can you comment on that?
Another good point, Bob. And this is especially true with people that are sensitive to odors in their mouth, or taste in their mouth, or smells in their mouth that they're not accustomed to. And for people who do not take fish oil, this product, Nordic Light, is a big benefit. Because as you pointed out, it will not regurgitate in the body. The body will dissolve it very rapidly because it is water soluble and fat soluble. And it gives the body all the benefits you need for the EPA, DHA, the astaxanthin, and the krill oil. So anybody who has a problem ever taking fish oil in the past can forget about those troubles. All you have to do is go to the shelf, look for Nordic Light in this convenient package where you only take 2 soft gels a day, which will eliminate any regurgitation problem or any taste smell or odor smell that you may feel by taking a fish oil supplement. So again, the brand is Nordic Light.
Now, well, let's get into something that's very important as far as fish oils and astaxanthin, why we take something like this for our overall health. There's many reasons for health issues, but one of the major health issues which affects many diseases and conditions is their anti-inflammatory characteristics. Both EPA and DHA, the omega-3s, as well as astaxanthin, they're most well known for their anti-inflammatory characteristics, which is so important because many people that are healthy or do have health compromises, when they do take these supplements, they do have much lower inflammatory processes going on in their body. And as we know, the importance of inflammation, that it is really responsible for many types of cancers, for autoimmune diseases, for Alzheimer's disease, for organic brain syndrome, even increasing aging, which is so important. Inflammation is a real problem. And of course, fish oils, the omega-3s, as well as astaxanthin, with their antioxidant properties, with their great free radical scavenger abilities, they lower this inflammatory process. And this is so important as far as your overall health. Can you please comment on that?
To answer your question about inflammation, most people that have inflammatory markers may not know it. It's almost hidden. It's almost hidden like the heart attack, which you've heard people, they feel fine, they go for a stress test, all of a sudden, a day later, they get a heart attack and they die. Inflammatory markers in the body can be remedied with omega-3s. There are several markers when people do their blood work, whether they do it annually or semi-annually. The 2 most important markers for inflammation, as you pointed out, to determine whether or not you're susceptible to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, are something called HS, or high reactive CRP. You take a blood test that shows you a highly sensitive CRP marker that is out of range, you know you have an inflammatory marker which has to be dealt with immediately. Should not let it wait. The other one is homocysteine, which I'm sure many people have heard about. Those are probably the 2 most popular markers that medical doctors, both mainstream, allopathic, naturopathic, will look to do on a client or a patient. They'll look to do a blood work, a whole workup, on a CBC panel, which includes the homocysteine and the highly reactive CRP. If your markers are out of range, you definitely want to get on an omega-3. Because as you pointed out, Bob, these lead to other diseases that can destroy the body, such as heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, which are all on the uprise. They're not coming down. People are not getting into the habit of using fish oils as an anti-inflammatory on a regular basis. And the news has been rampant with how beneficial omega-3s are to the body. This particular one by Nordic Light contains not only EPA and DHA, but it also has the krill and the astaxanthin with the benefit of the phospholipids, which makes the body absorb it in a great deal more efficient manner. So most people that are looking at inflammatory markers should definitely look to pursue Nordic Light fish oils.
Now you spoke about issues with CRP, C-reactive protein, and homocysteine. Now those, as you talked about are both markers for inflammation and heart disease and many things that can go on in the body, autoimmune disease, lupus, erythematosus, so many things that plague us, even cancer. Now, one of the biggest problems that we have is even though those markers are there, and you say, well, let's lower those markers, and we do that many times with fish oils and astaxanthin and other great antioxidants that are out there, you still have an inflammatory problem. Just because those markers are not there doesn't mean that we're still not inflamed, because we're constantly being exposed to toxins and many things that go on in our own bodies. Free radicals, they're always there, they're always attacking our cells. And also as we age, as we get older, we're getting more and more of that attack. And if you look very carefully at the people that look younger, and many people look older, many people that take these kind of supplements and lead the kind of life that's healthy, they do look younger because they have less free radicals that their body is having to deal with. And all the organ systems, the skin and all the organs and muscles and tissues are being protected by substances such as the omega-3 fish oils and astaxanthin. So this is very, very important. And one thing we have to really also tell people is that when you're taking fish oils and you're taking astaxanthin, what you're doing, you're protecting, but you're protecting in a very important way. It's called modulation, which we also spoke about. And when we talk about modulation, we mean just controlling the system, because our bodies produce many types of substances, such as prostaglandins and leukotrienes, that can be good in many cases to protect us, but they can also be bad because they cause inflammation. So the omega-3s and the astaxanthin, what really is doing, it's helping to modulate those. In other words, creating the good prostaglandins and leukotrienes that help fight disease and protect us, while at the same time making sure that the bad ones that cause inflammation are not produced in the body. And this is very important for people to understand. Would you like to please comment on that?
You brought up an excellent point with the prostaglandins, and again, as you pointed out also, and I've said before, most people don't realize they have an inflammatory marker in their body. The only way they're going to find out is by going for that blood test, so the doctor can determine what their inflammatory markers are. But the bottom line, when people are using products to be able to deal with inflammation, lower the effects of inflammation, and live a longer, healthier life, the product that you want to entertain in buying is this Nordic Light, which has the EPA, DHA, Krill, and the astaxanthin in the most efficacious and efficient manner to get into the body, into the cells and membranes, and cross that blood-brain barrier. So my advice, after all the years that I've been in retailing, can only recommend to a customer or a client, this is the fish oil product that you certainly want to entertain taking. It's only 2 a day. If you do have inflammation markers, it's safely to take 4 a day or 6 a day even, depending upon your own condition and how high your markers are. But this is one product that will help get those inflammation markers down, and over the long run, improve your health and help you live a long, healthy life.
Right.
Bob, thanks for all those questions today.
Great.